After hearing the story of how humans came to be in faraway land, our adventurers waited out the storm. When the rain ceased, the trio set out once again for the town of Errands, where Gruun had gathered word that an ettin needed slaying.
"So what is an ettin?" asked Mirabell. "Ettins are two-headed giants who are always up to no good. They eat sheep and cow steeds, and sometimes they eat people." "And you're going to fight one?" asked Mirabell. Gruun looked at her, and then at Buzzles on her shoulder. "I am indeed." "Will that get your honor back?" she asked. Gruun shook his head and stopped. He pointed off into the distance. "Those are the Umbercrag Mountains. We aren't far from Errands now." The trio walked until that evening when they came to the town of Errands. In Errands they found the Bad Donkey Inn. The inn was bustling with a motley human crowd. "Stay close," said Gruun. "I'm looking for Hoos Bluehair," said Gruun to the barman. "Hoos, huh? You come to kill the ettin." The bar grew quiet. A tall human male with long blue hair stood up in the back and walked toward Gruun. "That's him," said the barman. "How you know about the ettin, Orca?" asked Hoos. "An acquaintance of mine named Heap told me when I was in Crow." Hoos looked him up and down. "You know Heap, huh?" Gruun nodded. "That your help?" asked Hoos, pointing to Mirabell and Buzzles. "They are my traveling companions. I will do the job alone." Hoos laughed. "Well, the job's yours if you want it. Several others have tried and come up short. Actually, they come up dead." "What's the pay?" interrupted Gruun. Hoos eyed him with an air of seriousness. 10 gold coins, collected up by the town. We need the ettin gone. He's tearing up everything outside of town, farms and livestock and travelers. Sooner or later he'll be here. Gruun looked at Hoos and gripped his halberd. "He'll be gone." That night, Hoos put Gruun and Mirabell and Buzzles up in the inn. Mirabell asked Gruun if she and Buzzles could go, and Gruun said that it was too dangerous. She reminded him of the clown plant and the winged Harrys, and Gruun told her this was different. Ettins weren't winged Harrys. Reluctantly, Mirabell and Buzzles went to their room. In the morning, Gruun set out to slay the ettin, Mirabell and Buzzles following behind, the Orca unaware of his pursuers. Gruun walked until midday. It was slow going as the terrain was rocky and the elevation climbed slowly. It was the perfect place for ettins. At the top of a cliff, Gruun looked down at the river and the foothills below, Errands in the distance. "Gruun the Orca!" came a scraping voice. Gruun turned, and to his surprise he saw an Ogra. "You know me?" he asked, holding his weapon. "Know of you? That your father was murderer and you coward. No, you got price on you had. All I need know." With those words, the Ogra took a long, rusty blade from his side and readied it. "You kind just like others," said the Ogra. "Power and money." He charged Gruun, and Gruun readied himself. The Ogra swung his black blade, and Gruun ducked, the jagged teeth barely missing him. Again the Ogra swung his weapon, and again Gruun jumped clear of the blow. "I'll take you horns!" cried the Ogra, attacking Gruun. Gruun fell back just as the Ogra's blade cleaved off the tips of 2 of his horns. Miss after near miss, the Ogra attacked, and Gruun blocked and evaded and looked for the upper hand, some opportunity. But the Ogra was too powerful, and then Gruun tripped and fell back to the edge of the cliff and went to the ground. The Ogra immediately jumped on top of him and raised his rusty blade. "Get off him!" came a voice from behind. The Ogra turned, and Gruun knew the voice. It was Mirabell. "Get off!" she yelled, and the rock shook, and Buzzles hid, and she thrust out her arms. Gruun felt it above, as if an invisible force had sprung from the young girl. Then the Ogra was in the air and went over the cliff. The rock settled, and Gruun sat up. He and Buzzles both stared at Mirabell, whose face had lost all colors, a look of fear in her eyes.